Being a Longhorn is pride, achievement, family. It's about belonging to a vibrant community that strives for greatness in everything. Being a Longhorn means engaging in STEM education, starting your path to college in elementary, and earning a college degree in high school. Being a Longhorn is a choice to lead, to innovate, to thrive in any setting. Here, you'll discover that learning isn't limited to textbooks. We believe in hands-on experiences that ignite creativity and fuel imagination. As a Longhorn, you have the opportunities to grow beyond the classroom, from the stage to the field. It's a great day to be a Longhorn. And when the time comes to graduate, you'll leave with a sense of accomplishment, knowing that you're prepared for whatever the future holds. The pride of being a Longhorn is something that cannot be described. It's better to experience it and feel it. This is Cedar Hill ISD. We educate, empower, and inspire.
Hello, Longhorn volunteers. My name is Dr. Keisha McDonald. I am the Director of FACE, and I will be conducting our 2024-2025 CHISD Volunteer Orientation and Training. We want to welcome our volunteers and thank you for volunteering your time to serve Cedar Hill ISD. We appreciate your commitment to support our district. CHISD's past, present, and continued future successes are due in large part to the skills, talents, and dedication of our volunteers. CHISD volunteers serve as role models for students and are expected to present themselves in a positive manner. Today's training will give you an overview of our general volunteer process. CHISD volunteer procedures can be found at chisd.net/volunteer. All volunteers must be approved through cedarhillisd.volley.org in order to volunteer in CHISD. Once a Volley account has been created, you will be asked to complete your preferred volunteer application and check the option to submit for a background check through JDP. Approval time is normally 1 to 5 business days, pending there are no flags in the applicant's background. In some cases, the background check is approved immediately. If the account is flagged for any reason, the approval of your account could take up to 2 weeks. All volunteers must use their legal name, including their middle name, date of birth, and address, but Social Security numbers are not required. Any error when entering information will prolong the approval process. You are encouraged to select the school or schools you wish to volunteer for during the application process in order to receive specific volunteer opportunities and be shown as a regular volunteer in CHISD. Now, I will walk you through how to create a Volley account. You will need to visit cedarhillisd.volley.org to create your account. Once you are at the site, you will see a page that says create a volunteer account. You will enter your first and last name, email address for which you would like to be communicated, phone number, zip code, and password. Please make sure that you write your password down so that you can access your account later. Once you create your account, you will receive the email below from face@chisd.net welcoming you to Volley. You will then complete the appropriate volunteer application type. You must select if you're volunteering as a parent or community member, student, CHISD employee or substitute, classroom observer, student teacher, or intern. You will then have to complete demographic information. You will give your first and last name again, your street address, and city. There are additional information you will need to complete. At this point, it is asking you, which schools will you like to volunteer? Remember, if you have scholars at more than one campus, please select all of the campuses in which your scholars attend. You will also need to select the appropriate language. The next page you will see will ask you to check the dates and days in which you are available to volunteer. You also have an opportunity to select the activities in which you're interested in volunteering. The section of the application does have 6 questions related to background information. You will need to answer yes or no to all 6 background questions. You will then be asked to confirm that your Cedar Hill ISD volunteer application is complete by inserting your first, last name, and the date in which you are completing the application. Once that is done, this screen will automatically appear. Notice the yellow background check request. All volunteers must click on the yellow background check to begin the background process. Volunteers, please do not confuse this background check with the 6 questions you just completed in the application. This background check is the final stage that you will need to ensure that you are allowed to be a CHISD volunteer. So once again, the 6 background questions that were asked during your initial volunteer process is not the same as your official background check. The background check is conducted by JDP to ensure that those questions that you answered correctly. You will refresh the page and the green screen below may appear. The yellow will turn green when you have passed the background check. Many people will pass the background check immediately. If you do not receive a green light immediately, you can check your email to see if you've received the message below from face@chisd.net. It indicates you have passed your background check and you are cleared to volunteer in Cedar Hill ISD. If you fail the background check, you will receive the email below from face@chisd.net with follow-up instructions included in the body of the email. You do have the right to submit clarification, and you can appeal the decision. If you would like to appeal the decision, there are links within the email for you to complete the form. Once that is done, I will contact you and let you know your next steps. Now we're coming to the section of our handbook review. There is a volunteer handbook for all Cedar Hill ISD volunteers. We have updated it for our 2024-2025 school year. All volunteers need to ensure that you have reviewed the handbook prior to going to a campus. While there are many things in the handbook that you will have to review prior to entering the campus, I will highlight the student safety section that I want you to be aware of. Our first part of our student safety is discussing sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is any welcomed or unwelcome sexual advances or requests for sexual favors, and other oral, written, physical, or visual conduct of a sexual nature. The physical contact of the private body area of a minor for the purpose of gratification will always be considered sexual abuse. Sexual abuse of a student by a volunteer or mentor violates a student's constitutional right to bodily integrity. Sexual abuse may include, but is not limited to, fondling, sexual assault, or sexual intercourse. Volunteers and mentors who suspect a student may have experienced prohibited harassment are obligated to report their concerns to the campus volunteer mentor coordinator or campus administrator. All allegations of prohibited harassment of a student will be reported to the student's parents and promptly investigated. Romantic relationships between volunteers and mentors and students are strictly prohibited. This includes the following conduct: sexual-oriented conversations for the purpose of personal sexual gratification, calling students at home or elsewhere and engaging in inappropriate social relations, engaging in physical contact that would reasonably be construed as sexual in nature, enticing or threatening students to get them to engage in sexual behavior in exchange for gifts and or money, and the use of social media for any purpose other than appropriate volunteer mentor student relationships. And I want to caution all of our volunteers. We ask that you utilize our Facebook page for FACE and Cedar Hill ISD, our Cedar Hill ISD Instagram and Twitter accounts. Please do not friend students on their personal social media accounts. Do not DM students on their personal social media accounts for any reason. And finally, grooming, ensuring that you're not using manipulative tactics where you're building a relationship with the victim to gain their trust and abuse or exploit them. That is the end of our orientation, and I am willing for you to contact me if you have any concerns or issues with your Volley account. At any time during your school year, if you have any issues with your Volley account, all campuses do have a Volley representative that can help you, but in the event that they cannot, all of those issues and concerns are given to me, and I will be able to assist you. In closing, I want you to know that background checks will cover everything, and background checks have gone as far back as 1972. So please understand that if there is anything criminal in nature, even a traffic violation that is on your report, please know that that will be flagged. So just make sure you understand that. And if you fail your background check, once again, there is an appeal process that you may complete. I thank you for your time, and we are going to have an exciting school year. We want to thank you again for all you do, and we appreciate you for choosing to volunteer with Cedar Hill ISD.